What's up, guys? It's Jake here from Chief Live Gaming. A battle report for you guys today. The first one, I think, in 8th edition. We're, I think, 6 months into 8th. Chapter approved for 2017 was just released, so that's kind of where we're at in the timeline. I'm playing my Tau today against my friend Dirk. Dirk, hello.
Hello.
We're playing a more narrative style of a battle today, so a few custom little giblets of rules. Let me, before we look at the armies, what I'm going to do is show you the board. So here's what we've got. We've got a bit of a narrative story arc going on here where the Space Wolves have arrived on a planet and are essentially ambushed by the Tau forces. So the Space Wolves are going to set up in this center little outpost that we've got set up. Their deployment rules are they can deploy anywhere inside of here that is more than 24 inches from this edge, the short edge, and more than 24 inches from this edge. The Tau are going to deploy on those short edges I just showed you with a restriction of 6 inches in, so they are ambushing from both sides into the Space Wolves. So that'll be pretty cool. The mission, basically objective, is for the Space Wolves to survive for 5 turns. We're setting a hard 5 turns on this because we haven't played 8th in a while, or Dirk has only played, what, 2 games?
2 games.
2 games of 8th, so we're going to be a little bit rusty here. We don't want this to be something that's too long. So there's our mission, there's our field, as it were. Pretty fun. Let's take a look at the armies. So here is the Tau contingent today. What I've done is split this into 2 different groups. So it's Battleforged split across 2 Vanguard detachments to make it Battleforged, but within that I have 2 sort of groups of my army, and because of the narrative aspect we're playing, what we have is essentially a Tau scouting cadre, or an infiltration cadre, that comes across the Space Wolf forces and the outpost first. And then later in the game, the sort of reinforcement or strike team, drop team will come in from a Manta and help support the sort of forward operatives that have already been on the board. So these guys are not going to come in until later. So let's look at these. We've got 2 Ghost Keel battle suits. One has a cyclic ion, one has the fusion. We've got 2 groups of stealth teams with 1 fusion in each and 3 burst cannons. We've got 3 piranhas, 2 burst piranhas, 1 fusion, a group of 12 gun drones, and then 2 Firesight marksmen represented by these lovely models here. I believe these are Wargame exclusive models that I got, third party. Fantastic, I love these. So that's going to represent the totality of the forces that will deploy at the beginning of the game as sort of the forward cadre of the Tau forces. Now later in the game, we're going to have this second group of Tau come in. Now these are the reinforcing sort of aspect of the army. We've got 2 Devilfish with smart missile systems, 10 Fire Warriors in each. We have an Ethereal with an Honor Blade. See him tucked back there again, Wargame exclusive third-party model. We have a Tau Commander. He has 3 missile pods and a the -1 AP thing, advanced targeting. Let's go with that. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And then we have a group of 4 Crisis Suits. These Crisis Suits are armed with 2 burst cannons and a flamer each. Coming along with them, we have 6 gun drones. So that is 2,000 points, thereabouts, of Tau that are going to take on the battlefield today as the attacking force. Let's take a look at the Space Wolves. So today we have the defending force represented by the Space Wolves. Beautiful army that Dirk's brought today. We have, again, 2 sort of groups split up. We have one that will start on the board, and then a sort of supplementary force that will arrive turn 3 at the same time that the other Tau forces arrive. So we'll kind of have a split battle. So the first forces that are on the table are kind of in the front here. We have 2 groups of Grey Hunters. Those are just the basic tactical Marines for Space Wolves, essentially. 2 groups of 10, it looks like, in Rhinos. We have Scouts, Sniper Scouts, Chameleon Cloaks, hanging out. Over here, see a Wolf Lord. Lovely. Is this cloak green stuff, like custom? That's
So
can I spin him?
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Look at this, guys. Lovely. Awesome. And then we have Long Fangs with missile launchers, accompanied by a dreadnought, a venerable dreadnought with the snippy frost claw thingy and the Hellfrost cannon. This guy has the 3-up invuln, right?
Nope.
No?
He doesn't have the shield.
He doesn't have a shield? Okay, but he's still amazing. I love this model. So that is, again, the first sort of group that will be on the table. The reinforcing Space Wolves are represented back here. We have a Whirlwind, Vindicator, Wolf Priest, Wolf Priest, a large group of Blood Fangs, Blood Claws, Blood something, Blood and an animal part. So Blood Claws, and then the massive Space Wolf gunship here, the Stormfang, with Hellfrost, some Laz, it looks like. Everything's WYSIWYG, Melta, lovely. I love this thing. Some freehand going on here. Fantastic army today for me to get beat up by. Chevrons on the front there of that Vindicator. It's going to be good, guys. So we're going to set up to come back to you guys after deployment and give you a look at what's going on. See you in a second. Okay, guys, here we are after deployment. Again, we're splitting the forces a little bit. It's not exactly 50-50, but you can see here what forces that I have left for Tau that are not on the battlefield. Again, arriving turn 3, and these are in transports for the Space Wolves, but this sort of force here will not be arriving until turn 3 as well. So what we have here is the Space Wolves setting up first in the center of the board. We've got Long Fangs in a nice perch on this dilapidated bastion. We've got some snipers here, and then again 10 in each, I believe, and that's a lot of space marines and power armor chilling in the middle there. So the Tau sort of getting information from this infiltration cadre, this stealth cadre here, represented by a unit of stealth suits with their ghost keel sort of leading them in on this flank, and this over here duplicated on this flank with a firesight marksman sort of tagging along, coming in on this side of the board. And then over here we have the remainder of the sort of contingency force. That's the forward contingent of the Tau, with the Piranhas, the unit of 12 gun drones, and the other firesight marksmen. So that's what we have on the board here going into turn 1. So we'll come back to you guys in just a second with the whole seize roll and all that good stuff. See you in a minute.
Okay.
Space Wolves seizing the initiative on a 6. Oh man, so they've had enough time to prepare for this Tau force. We're not as sneaky as we originally thought we were. Tau made too much noise coming through the canyons over here, and the Space Wolves will get first turn. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
See you guys after turn 1 for Space Wolves. Okay, so after the stealing of the initiative, they snatched it from the Tau, and Space Wolves took turn 1. So basically had a little bit of repositioning here, just kind of wanting to play a little defensive and buy time. Again, they're looking for turn 5 to get evac'd off the board, so not too aggressive on the movement, moving into range on some of their small arms fire, staying in their tin can transports to be nice and safe from the Tau fire. We had some shots raining down from the Long Fangs. If you recall, there was a Piranha nested right up here on top of this hill. It is no longer. So one has been deleted. Other shots were unsuccessful into this Piranha. We had some small arms fire, as well as the Hellfrost from the Dreadnought coming through across into this Piranha, bringing it all the way down to 1 wound, doing 5, which was pretty cool, but unfortunately unable to blow it up. Over here, stealth suits taking shots from this Rhino, the sort of hollow fields that they have, giving them -1 hit was helpful, and they only ended up taking 1 wound with 2 wounds each. They are still at full strength. The sniper's doing awesome, great work shooting across. There was that firesight marksman nestled in the crates back there. They don't care about the character rule, they ignore it because they have the sniper rule on their weapons, shooting across, and rolled 2 6s on mortals, so handily removing that firesight marksman. Pretty nice. So that is turn 1 for the Space Wolves. We're both kind of posturing here, unsure what to do as we move into Tau turn 1. Let's see what we can do, and we'll be back to you guys in just a second. Tau response turn, moving forward trying to get a foothold into the Space Wolf lines here. Not extremely successful, I must say. On this side, we'll start here since we're standing on this side of the board. We had the ghost kills come up and the stealth suits. Basically what I elected to do was throw the fusions from everything. So we had a fusion in this group, a fusion walking through the runes over here, and then the fusion collider on this ghost kill, all shooting into this rhino. As we look here, we notice that it is only taken one wound.
Not one left. That only
yeah, we're counting up, not down. Make no mistake. It is only taken one wound. A lot of misses happening. Perhaps marker light rerolling ones would have been nice, but you elected to snipe out the marksman here, which was perfect for you. So I did not have marker light support on this side. That's okay. The burst cannons from both groups coming through, trying to thin out the scouts a bit. I did kill one, which was nice. As we go over here, you can see that I did in fact put a marker light onto this dreadnought from the marksman across on this flank. Unable to do any wounds, just taking some small arm shots in him. What I was really aiming to do was take the fusion shot from this piranha into the rhino and pop it open. I did end up doing 6 wounds to it. They have 11, you said?
10.
10, 11. It has some left. We took it down to half or so, thereabouts, but unable to remove that from the battlefield. And that was all the damage I was able to do with my little forward contingent of Tau. Not having the support of the heavy hitters that we're looking for in the back perhaps is going to hurt us in the long run. We shall see. So that is turn 1 for both armies. Give you a little overlook here. Again, Space Wolves trying to just stay on the board and live for 5 turns to get evac'd. What does Space Wolves get evac'd by? Some kind of big plane thing?
Yeah.
A big
Storm Eagles.
Storm Eagle is going to come in and whisk them off this battle grid. The Tau trying to eliminate the intruders onto their planet that they are sacrificing for the greater good.
I only see Imperial buildings on this planet. Just
well, it was an Imperial planet, but the Tau greater gooded that. That's like it's a verb now.
A verb now.
Greater gooding. Okay, let's move into turn 2 for the Space Wolves. Space Wolves doing what they want to do most, getting into combat over here in turn 2. So if you recall, the rhino hanging out back here, everybody piled out, taking plasma shots. There was 7 plasma shots actually coming out of this unit with 2 plasma guns, a combi plasma, and a plasma pistol, raining across into this ghost kill along with the long fangs over on this perch. Unfortunately, unable to remove the ghost kill due to his electro warfare suite. I think that's the name. It sounds cool, so I'm gonna go with that. He had a -2 to be hit by the long fang, so he weathered the storm, but he is weakened. Over here, no other wounds taken. I did take some small arms fire, but also was able to live through the combat phase, which I was a little surprised about. He did a nice move here, charging the rhino into my stealth suits first, eating their overwatch, locking them in combat so they could no longer overwatch the Marines as they came in, but supporting fire allowed the ghost kill to overwatch and killed one of the Marines on his way in. Over here, stealth suits down to 2 units, the Chasvray and his Chasui remaining with 1 wound. We have combat over here. You'll notice a significant lack of piranhas on this side of the battlefield, so small arms fire again, as well as the Hellfrost doing some damage, but really it was the Meltas in the squad. You have 2 Meltas in a combi?
Yep.
So 3 Meltas were able to pile out of this rhino, easily in range of 6 to blow up this piranha. And then yeah, I mean it
did 12 wounds.
It did 12 wounds to the piranha, which was hilarious, and that thing got evaporated. And then this one only had 1 remaining, also was evaporated. So the drones actually did some cool damage in Overwatch, taking out one of the Grey Hunters, but we're locked in combat here. I somehow passed my morale. I rolled a 1 and only lost 2 more to morale, so that unit is holding. And Tau desperately needing their reinforcements or the ghost kills to be able to clean up some amount of damage in this turn. So we're moving into the bottom of turn 2 for the Tau, and let's see what they can do. The bottom of turn 2, Tau retaliating, and on this side of the board, great success for the greater good, wiping this unit barely. I had to go into combat and it sunk all of my shooting, but I did remove the Rhino and the unit on this side of the board. So we're kind of hanging out in a nice little triangulation here, waiting for the reinforcements to come in from Space Wolves, because it will be Space Wolves turn 3 next. Over on this side of the board, we'll give you a look at the middle. The drones fleeing out of combat, Marker Light support coming in, and because they have the fly keyword, they can fire into the unit still. And they actually removed 2 due to some unfortunate rolls from the Space Wolves here. And then that was the turn. So actually the morale phase is what killed that last Marine, so it was kind of close. Yeah. I almost didn't wipe the squad out, but the morale phase was the thing that did him in. So again, we're looking at the sort of second phase of this narrative style game, where the reinforcements are going to be arriving. So what we're looking at for the Space Wolves arriving next is this contingency here. Everything you're seeing is going to be arriving at the end of the movement phase, and the Tau next turn will be getting this contingency to arrive at the start of their movement phase. So hopefully I don't get tabled before then. Let's see what the Space Wolves do with the top of turn 3. Here we are after the turn 3 for Space Wolves. This is the turn where all the reinforcements arrive for the Space Wolves. So the way we played this was sort of like a 7th edition reserve arriving. So we gave the Space Wolves this far edge here as sort of their home edge for their reserves to arrive from. Looking at this board, that kind of seemed like the way that the Space Wolves would want to reinforce from. So we gave them this edge and allowed them to bring their reinforcements on with their base movement stats. So they sort of moved in with the 2 tanks there, and then the big old plane thing, Storm Fang or something good, Storm Wolf over on this side. So reserves screaming in from this flank, shooting into the Tau lines, removing one of the Ghost Keel and one of the Stealth Suit units. So we have a unit of 3 Stealth Suits and a half-strength Ghost Keel, or just under half. He has 4 wounds remaining over on this flank. Over here, nothing is remaining. Everything was wiped out by the combination fire of the Dreadnought and the small arms fire from the Marine squad here, removing the last 3 drones and the Firesight Marksman, who was so heroically holding his little hill over there. So now it's time for Tau to bring in their reinforcements. Now for Tau, we're dropping out of a Manta, so we're going to follow the normal 8th edition rules of deep striking, so to speak. So I have to set up farther than 9 inches away for everything that's eligible to do that, which would be the Commander and the Crisis Suits. And then we're going to follow sort of the same example with the Devilfish. They're going to use the opposite board edge of the Space Wolves, so over here on the long edge, and we're going to use their movement speed to arrive onto the battle grid. So that's what we're going to do there. We'll come back to you guys after Tau take their second turn. Third turn?
Third turn.
It'd be their third.
Yep.
Be right back. Okay, we're here at the end of turn 3 at the bottom. Tau getting their reinforcements in from the Manta, dropping in here in the central position, right in the heart of this outpost that the Space Wolves have captured. Now, this Crisis Suit bomb with the Commander was quite successful at clearing out things just inside of burst cannon range. Pretty much all of my firepower from the small arms coming into this squad of Long Fangs, removing them off the table just handily with the morale phase, actually removing the last model. Both fusions from the Fusion Collider on the Ghost Keel and the Stealth Suit fusion gun going into the Vindicator, getting some lucky damage rolls, removing it off the battle table. I think I killed 2 scouts, small arms,
Yep,
2 scouts. And then we moved, basically the way we ruled it was Tau have this edge to move on the basically the models that are not eligible for the Manta drop, because Space Wolves used that edge to do the same thing. We figured it'd be most balanced to bring Tau in from the opposite edge. So we brought in the Devilfish. There are 10 Fire Warriors here, 10 Fire Warriors and an Ethereal here, shooting the smart missiles from the Devilfish into this squad of Marines, removing 1, and finally the Commander taking aim across the battlefield with his missile pods, doing 4 wounds to this nasty dreadnought over here. It's trying to just piddle away and plink away at his armor, because no matter what this guy does, whatever he charges will die. There is no hope for anything in my Tau army against that thing. We still have a very large, very nasty unit to deal with in here as they come across screaming down the battlefield. Likely some combat happening. I tried to set myself up in the best sort of supporting fireball that I could muster. We will see how bad they crash our lines here. Looking at turn 4, again, Space Wolves just looking to live and get extracted and extract as much blood from the fish Tau as possible before the battle ends on turn 5. So we're looking at turn 4 here for the Space Wolves. We'll see you guys in just a second. Space Wolves taking the top of turn 4. Some nice maneuvering here puts the big old plane within 6 inches of the Wolf Lord, giving that nice 6-inch rerolling ones bubble, taking advantage of that. Raining shots from Meltas and Hellfrost, which are both 24 inches range. He was parked just inside of 24 of the Devilfish that was here, and as you can see, boom goes the dynamite. Devilfish removed from the battlefield in combination with some Meltas from this infantry squad, which have really been doing some damage this game. Spilling out some Fire Warriors and the Ethereal. Over here, Savior Protocols, of course, doing some very nice mitigation against this army, since he's pretty much out of small arms fire that was in range of the drones. He couldn't clear them out before he fired his big ones, his big weapons into the crisis teams. So I just saviored all of the shots from the las cannons and the Whirlwind Savior Protocols, doing mortal wounds, of course, to the drone units and wiping them out. I do owe you some morale here. A leadership of 6. 4 losing 4 is 8 against 6. That kills the unit, so they are dead. So he did kill them, but yep, Savior Protocols was quite helpful there. Not any other damage coming in, but the next turn, if things are still not dead, like if I can't deal with some of these large threats, which I don't think I can deal with both of them, there are going to be a lot of dead crisis suits. We'll have to see what Tau can do. Again, we're trying to eradicate the Space Wolves out of this outpost. Can we manage to do it? 2 more turns left. Let's find out in turn 4 for the Tau. Turn 4 for the Tau, the bottom of 4. So again, that positioning was really nice for him, because what he did was get out of 18, which is the kill zone for burst cannons, which I have quite a few of them here in these crisis teams, as well as stealth suits. So moving forward, just shuffling as far as I could, again trying to remain in that 6-inch bubble of supporting fire in case those blood claws decide to get out of the plane, because they are still hunkering in there. Tried to take fusion shots into this Whirlwind, unable to kill it. I only did 2 wounds. Flamers, burst cannons going up into the scouts, unable to kill any scouts. Everything else into this Rhino, doing 3 wounds, but unable to do the last wound for like, what?
A lot of shots.
Like 4 sets of burst cannons coming in.
And some smart missiles.
Some smart missiles, like I fired my commander at it, everything, and I could not remove it, because if I would have killed it, I was inside of 18 with some crisis suits to get shots onto the commander with the Wolf Lord, which was then, didn't matter, he wasn't the closest, but that was kind of the plan. If I could remove all that crap, kill the Rhino, and like blow the crap out of that Wolf Lord. Didn't work so well. Storm of Fire from the Ethereal, firing here, killing one guy there. We still have 10 Fire Warriors into this Devilfish sneaking around on this flank of the battlefield. So a very tight-knit Space Wolf force here, kind of hunkered in this Wolf Lord castle, but the tower driving them out just a little, but I don't know if we can do enough damage to remove them before their Storm Eagle arrives and evacs them from this planet. We'll have to see. Space Wolves have 1 more turn, and then following that, the Tau will have an additional turn to try to remove some more Space Wolves off the field. So we'll see you guys in just a second. Just finished the last turn for Space Wolves, turn 5. A very successful volley of fire coming through. Some nice target priority and some nice, we'll call it shooting order to get through the crisis suits and the savior protocols going to the stealth drones now. He did bring tons of shots through and focus firing some things into the stealth drones that were here. Even though they did give him a -1 to hit, he was able to kill 1 or 2, I believe, to thin out some of the savior protocols I could do, and then just focus fired the crisis suits, which was really smart. I had to remove the last 3 drones to savior protocols, and then we had like ton of heavy high damage shots coming in from this thing, as well as the Whirlwind over there.
Yep.
And so they did get removed, which was nice. He needed to do that, I think, too. Kind of keep the upper hand on this grid here. So we've got combat over here. Fire Warriors
Killed 1 in Overwatch.
holding on. Yep, they did storm of fire on the way in. The Space Wolves lost 1. He stayed outside of 3 here, so I could not heroically intervene to bring in the Honor Blade. But what are you going to do? So really now we're looking at the last turn for the Tau, as we're trying to scrape as much technology as we can from the Space Wolves units to bolster and further the greater good. The target priority is probably going to be to bring down the stuff with the coolest weapons so that we can adapt them for our Tau forces. Let's take the last turn of the game and see how it plays out. It's all over, folks. The Tau have taken their last turn, whittling down as much of the Space Wolves as they could before the Storm Eagle as it rumbles overhead to evac the rest of the Space Wolf forces. We're scavenging as much technology as we possibly can to bolster the weaponry of the greater good. Shooting across, killing this damn Rhino. Finally. It took like okay, not that much. Smart missiles, I think, finally took it out.
It took 1 turn of smart missiles and just laughed.
Yeah, the Rhino was the strongest thing in your list. No, not really, but the Rhino died. Then I shot missile pods into the Venerable Dreadnought here, and he had 5 wounds left. I did exactly 5 to him and was able to remove him, so that was about the most exciting thing that I was able to do. All other shots trickling, the Ethereal charging in for glory and honor in this combat, heroically doing 0 damage, and then cutting himself on his own sword and taking damage in the fight phase. So at the end of the game, the Space Wolves are getting lifted off the planet, and they will live to fight another day. The Tau were not able to remove enough of the units to fully wipe out this outpost, so Space Wolf reinforcements will likely be returning to this planet to deal with the remainder of the Tau outposts that are littering the rest of this world. But maybe the Tau will be more prepared next time. We'll just have to find out. So what we're going to do now is tally up some kill points for you guys, just to give you more of like a matched play look at the actual outcome of this battle, and then we'll close out. So I'll see you guys in just a second. So quick addition of the kill points. If we're looking at units, Tau lost 10 units. All those Firesight Marksmen, single Piranhas getting removed early on. The Space Wolves lost 5 units overall. And if we look at points or power level, we didn't do the actual math because we're a little lazy, but it's safe to say that the Space Wolves handily have won on that front as well, considering that this guy right here, without anything that's inside of it, is like 350 points.
380.
Okay, 380. And we've got like the Wolf Lord left, Vindicator, Whirlwind. They're all the same over there. So it is going to be a Space Wolves victory, no matter how you look at it. A very fun battle. I want to thank you, Dirk, for coming out.
Absolutely.
That was good stuff. Good game.
It was a tense one the whole time.
That was really. There was a couple turns where I was able to do a ton of damage, but then that where you retreated was really smart, because then you bought yourself 2 turns to really whittle down those crisis suits.
Just goes to show you that Space Wolves can be tactically minded.
The bloodlust is not always too overwhelming. Let's do a left-handed here. GG, man.
Game.
Well played. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this style battle report, let me know. We always like to hear feedback here, so drop it down in the comment section. Consider checking me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, all kinds of good stuff. I'm a full-time commissioned miniature painter, so that is all that I do. Check me out there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye now.